Please don't go to big.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Rules and Legislative Oversight Committee. I am Chair of the committee, Councilman Isaac Yitzhak Schleifer. To my left is Councilman Conway. To his left is Councilman Ramos. To my right is Councilman Eric Costello from the 11th District. To his right is Councilman Torrance. And first up, today is EA 24-0251, Priscilla A. Bratton, member for Civilian Review Board from the Great Fit District. Good afternoon. If you can just state your name and tell us why you're interested in being a member of the Civilian Review Board, and then we'll take questions from the committee. If you can hit the right button on there until your microphone lights up red. Again, you can also pull it down to whatever length is good for you.
Is that
perfect?
Okay. Hi. Hello, my name is Priscilla Batten, and I'm a veterinarian. I've lived in Baltimore City for about 36 years. I moved here when I married my husband, who was at that time working for a government contractor. I've worked at several small animal clinics, including animal shelters in the area, and I was hired by the Center for Veterinary Medicine at FDA. I worked at FDA for 23 years, and I retired last year. I, like my husband, fell in love with the city of Baltimore, and I continue to make it my home. As a resident of this city since the late 1980s, I have seen Baltimore go through a lot of changes. I'm deeply interested in the safety of the citizens of Baltimore, being one myself, and I would like to help my community by serving on this board in hopes that it will not only help my community, but also have a positive impact on the city of Baltimore. I welcome the opportunity to serve if I'm appointed, and that's all I have to say. Thank you. Okay.
Next up, EA 24-0253, Darren Rogers, member Civilian Review Board. Next up, EA 24-0253, Darren Rogers, member Civilian Review Board, District 8.
Good afternoon. So just wanted to thank you guys for your time. So my name is Darren Rogers. I'm an executive director of a youth organization called I Am Mentality Youth Male Empowerment Project. I'm also the CEO of a company called Steps Towards Success. I previously worked for Baltimore City in the capacity as a driver for DPW, as well as I worked as a part of the Squeegee Initiative with the Mayor's Office of African American Male Engagement. And, just as the young lady shared previously, I'm deeply rooted in Baltimore. I've been living here all my life. I serve hundreds of young people, and I'm really concerned about the safety of our people. And I want to be an asset to the community from, just from whatever vantage point that I have. And I think that's the majority of what I have to say.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Is there any questions from the committee? Thank you for your willingness to serve. We're now joined by Council Vice President Middleton. We are going to go into voting sessions. We'll start off with EA 24-0251, Priscilla Bratton. I will move this nomination favorable.
Second. Sheets later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right. Chair Schleifer.
Yes.
Chair Schleifer votes aye. Burnett is absent. Mr. Costello. Mr. Costello votes aye. Vice President Middleton. Vice President Middleton votes aye. Member Ramos.
Yes.
Member Ramos votes aye. Mr. Torrance. It was, well, it appears to be out of the chamber.
There you go.
Mr. Conway.
Aye.
Mr. Conway votes aye. Mr. Chair, there's 6 votes in the affirmative, no negatives, and we can go to second reader on this evening. Next on the docket.
Next up is EA 24-0253, Darren Rogers, member of Civilian Review Board.
Mr. Chair, can I go back? Can I get Danny on the last one? Who was the mover and the seconder?
For which one? Oh, I moved Miss Batten, and it was seconded by Costello.
Thank you, I apologize.
No problem.
Okay, we're ready for a motion on Rogers.
Do we have a motion? Second. Moved by Council Vice President Milton, seconded by Councilman Conway.
Chair Schleifer.
Yes.
Chair Schleifer votes aye. Mr. Burnett is absent. Mr. Costello. Mr. Costello votes aye. Vice President Middleton. Vice President Middleton votes aye. Member Ramos.
Yes.
Member Ramos votes aye. Mr. Torrance. Aye. Mr. Torrance votes aye. Mr. Conway.
Aye.
Mr. Conway votes aye. Mr. Chair, there's 6 votes in the affirmative, no negatives, and we can go to second reading at this evening's meeting.
Okay. Next up, EA 24-0240, Ronnie Brown, member of the Civilian Review Board. Do I have a motion? Moved by Ramos, seconded by Torrance.
Chair Schleifer.
Yes.
Chair Schleifer votes aye. Mr. Burnett is absent. Mr. Costello. Mr. Costello votes aye. Vice President Middleton. Vice President Middleton votes aye. Member Ramos.
Yes.
Member Ramos votes aye. Mr. Torrance. Aye. Mr. Torrance votes aye. Mr. Conway.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there's 6 votes in the affirmative, no negatives. We can go to second reader this evening.
All right. Next up, EA 24-0243, Aaron Maben, member of the Civilian Review Board.
Second.
Moved by Torrance, seconded by Ramos.
Torrance. Ramos. Okay, Chair Schleifer.
Yes.
Chair Schleifer votes aye. Mr. Burnett is absent. Mr. Costello. Mr. Costello votes aye. Vice President Middleton. Vice President Middleton votes aye. Member Ramos.
Yes.
Member Ramos votes aye. Mr. Torrance. Aye. Mr. Torrance votes aye. Mr. Conway.
Aye.
Mr. Conway votes aye. 6-0. Chair, second reader this evening.
All right, next up, EA 24-0242, Shannon Harris, member of the Civilian Review Board.
Ramos moves favorably.
Seconded by Torrance.
Second by Torrance. Chair Schleifer.
Yes.
Chair Schleifer votes aye. Mr. Burnett is absent. Mr. Costello. Mr. Costello votes aye. Vice President Middleton. Vice President Middleton votes aye. Member Ramos.
Yes.
Member Ramos votes aye. Mr. Torrance. Aye. Mr. Torrance votes aye. Mr. Conway.
Aye.
Mr. Conway votes aye. 6 votes in the affirmative, no negatives. We can go to second reading.
All right, next up, CC 22-0275, ethics conforming changes. Do we have a motion? Moved by Council Vice President Middleton.
Move favorably, Madam President? Yes. Okay.
Mr. Chair, what bill is this?
This is for the conforming changes, the ethics.
Last Thursday.
We heard it on Thursday. It was the ethics bill to bring our ethics code up to par with the state's ethics code. It's required by law.
So it's only technical or substantive changes required by state law.
I mean, it is technical, but there are significant changes as well.
But
It's required by law to. You can't be less restrictive. You can only be more restrictive than the state on legislation, and so therefore this brings us up to the state standard.
So it basically realigns our
Correct.
code with the state code. Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Are you seconding it? Okay. I will second it. So moved by Middleton, seconded by Schleifer.
Chair Schleifer.
Yes.
Chair Schleifer votes aye. Mr. Burnett is absent. Mr. Costello. Mr. Costello votes aye. Vice President Middleton. Vice President Middleton votes aye. Member Ramos. Mr. Torrance. Aye. Mr. Torrance votes aye. Mr. Conway. Mr. Chair, there are 5 votes in the affirmative, 1 negative, 1 abstention. We can go to the second reader at this evening's meeting.
And I just want to explain my vote. I was not here last Thursday, so I don't know the intimate details of the bill, and so just out of respect for the process, I chose to abstain. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Next up, CC 24-0559, Ordinance Francis Scott Key Bridge, Actions and Remedies. This is the bill we heard on Thursday, enabling the city law department and its outside counsel to sue the ship for the loss of tax revenue and other expenses that the city incurred. Anybody have any questions? Moved by Middleton, seconded by Torrance.
Chair Schleifer.
Yes.
Chair Schleifer votes aye. Mr. Burnett is absent. Mr. Costello. Mr. Costello abstains. Vice President Middleton. Vice President Middleton votes aye. Member Ramos.
Yes.
Member Ramos votes aye. Mr. Torrance. Aye. Mr. Torrance votes aye. Mr. Conway.
Abstain.
Mr. Conway abstains.
We got 4 votes.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, we have 4 votes in the affirmative, 1 negative, 2 abstentions. We can go to.
1 negative.
What?
Who voted no?
1 absent. I'm sorry. 4 votes in the affirmative, 1 absent, and 2 abstain.
All right. All right. That concludes today's hearing. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.